dusk. Can anybody see what it is? There is a problem we have to overcome. Andrew, what are you seeing? There's no zero.
Like, when we did before, we did like years from 2000.
Boom! The problem, as Andrew has just pointed out, is when we did the last data set, which was the uninsured, it was years from 1990, I think it was 1990, and then it was number of uninsured. We had 2 lists of numbers. How many lists of numbers we got here? Just 1. We can fix that, though. We can fix that, and we have to do this sometimes in the world. So I'm going to put degree here. I'm going to make a little laundry list of them here. So we've got less than high school. We've got high school diploma. We have some college. Associate, bachelor's, master's.
Professional and doctoral.
Professional and doctoral. Okay. Professional would be something like a what? Say again?
Like a lawyer.
Like a law degree or an MBA, something along those lines. So usually the implication with those kinds of degrees is you have to get some kind of college degree before you can get one of those. And usually it's a master's. So that's why I think they kind of fall in line here. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to leave a space here. And I'm going to put y equals median weekly earnings. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to regurgitate those back from that chart. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. Pull those numbers off that chart. 341. This is in dollars. 341. 493. If you guys don't mind throwing them off, 493, go ahead.
570.
570.
614.
614.
813.
813.
983.
983.
1131.
1131.
1214.
1214. Thank you for the big voice, whoever that was. Appreciate it. Freddie, thank you. What's the problem? What are we missing? You can't put that data into your TIs right now.
Well, because you need an X.
You need an X, don't you? You need an X. These technically are the X values. But in 243 and 244, you'll learn to call that qualitative data, which is non-numerical. So, in other words, there is no numerical equivalent to a high school or some college and blah, blah, blah degree. There is no equivalent to that. Our job now is to create an equivalent numerical value, because I think we can probably figure out how long you have to be in school. Jordan's saying, yeah, I think I can do that too. How many years of school would it take to get each of these? Yeah? Let's give it a whirl, shall we? Let's put X equals years of schooling.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Why not, right? This doesn't make sense. As I was looking at this, I was like, damn, I would love to use this data set. But that's the limitation. But I'm like, well, hell, we can figure this out, right? And then I said to myself, okay, I heard Nick again. You're schooling to attain the degree. That's 2 T's. To attain the degree. There we go. Years of schooling. So, you guys, you tell me, pick one of those degrees, tell me how long it would take to get it. And I'm not telling you to give me an exact number. It would take 9.42 years. Approximately, how long do you think it would take to get one of these degrees?
High school graduate, it's going to be 12 years.
High school graduate, I would imagine it would be 12 if we don't count kindergarten. So 1st through 12th grade, yeah?
Yeah.
And do we think that's a fair median? I mean, yes, it's going to take some people less. Some folks they graduate a year too early. Some folks they have to repeat a year. But do you think on average is 12? I think that's true. So it's a high school grad here. So that's going to put that 493, 12 years.
Problem is what number are you going to go for with that?
Less than high school?
Yeah.
This is challenging, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is challenging. You have to figure out what less than
Do
high
they
school.
drop out freshman year or do they drop out junior year?
They drop. I think Crystal gave us the answer. If they drop out, her claim is they either drop out freshman year or junior year.
Well, or sophomore year.
Or sophomore year. I think you've given us the answer.
So sophomore.
What should we put in?
Yeah. So
How about 10?
Yeah.
I think she's given us the answer. She's saying let's make sure we understand this logic here. She's saying they either drop out freshman or sophomore or junior. Let's take a time before we write down 10 though. Let's make sure we're happy with
the
this.
middle number.
The middle number, what assumption do we make if we go with the middle number of 9, 10, and 11?
So that's average.
That's average, which means the same number are dropping out as a freshman, as a sophomore, as a junior. Is that fair? I don't know if that's fair. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I was going to go with 10, 10 and a half, somewhere in
No,
there.
that's fine because it's less freshman year but more junior year.
It's less
So
freshman year,
average
but
out.
more junior year. Can I finagle a smidge and call it 10 and a half then?
Yeah.
Now, let's make sure, no, we're just saying no, hell with that. Here's why. Based on what Crystal just said and Andrew kind of nodded in agreement, she said fewer drop out freshman year, maybe more drop out junior year. So, if there were the same number of dropouts freshman and sophomore and junior year, I would just call it 10. But what I'm hearing over here is there's not. There's more on the high end. There's more 11s
Those are the ones
than
that are getting jobs
9s.
and
So
things.
even though Brittany told me not to, I'm going to call it 10.5.
Yeah, well, because junior year, that's when some kids are getting jobs and saying, screw
That
school.
totally, I'm not doubting your logic. I'm just saying numerically, I think this is a fair way of capturing that. Is that fair?
Yeah.
You guys buy it? Okay, good. Another one. Another one.
Some college will be 13.
Some college will be 13. Good. Now, I like that. I would go with 13 as well, because what would you call associates?
14.
We're right, 14, because we still tell you that lie that it's a 2-year degree, don't we? Right. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's 2.5, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 7. But I don't have an answer for this because I haven't asked IR. But if I go into the data and actually see how long it takes folks to finish, I would bet the median's right around 2 years. I would bet. Cool. So some college 13 then, Tori. I like that vote. It's good. I like this so far. This is good. It's also agreeing with our guess that this were linear data. This was linear data. Because if these were more spread out than they are, it might not be. And we'll come back to that. We'll futz with the scatter plot once we're done kind of doing this example. Bachelor's degree.
16.
17.
So I'm actually, it's funny, Tori, I'm going to put 16.5 in there as well. It took me 4.5 years because I changed my major in the first semester. I went in as an English major. I don't know why I did that. I love reading, I love writing. What I discovered was I hate it when somebody tells me what to read and write. I'm a punk rock drummer, punk rock songwriter. Don't tell me what to write. Screw you, right. And they told me to read this bunch of books, but these books suck. And I discovered right away that mathematics is a way better place for me to be. So I'm going to call it 16.5, and it's funny. That's it. I don't think that's a rare occurrence to change your major at least once as doing a bachelor's degree. And the problem with that, as some of you are nodding, is you tend to lose credits. You take a bunch of classes that are very specific to your degree, and you've got to basically retake credits to make up for those. So I think 16.5 is fair. Is that you, Tori? I'm agree with you on that one, sister. How about a master's degree? Now, a master, this is going to be tough, because some of us aren't even close to that yet. So let's, maybe 2.5. It's about a 2-year program, depending on if you can go full-time or go at night and weekends.
And I've heard of people working on their master's degrees for years.
I took me 3. Because I was going at night in the summertime, because I was working full-time.
Want to call it 2.5 again?
Want to call it 2.5 again?
Yeah.
So put 2.5 on top of the 16.5 and make that 19? Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. It's fair.
Now I'm.
Yeah, well, this gets tricky. These get tricky. It gets tricky to see how long it's going to take, because I think the variance in this is even more spread. So let's see, how long would it take you to get a professional degree? And remember, sometimes people go straight from this to this. It's not necessarily linear. So what do you think we should call the professional degree? I don't know. 20? Maybe put another year on there? Sure. And maybe 21 for a doctorate? I don't know. They could both be 20s for that matter. I don't know enough about it. I mean, it could be 20 here, it could be 21. And there's probably a wide range of variants. I've got my bass player in my band right now working on his PhD for a decade. That's mostly because he's drunk most of the time, but you know, whatever. Cool? All right, now, what do we do with this? This is the stat, this is the data we need. So here's what I want you to do. Grab your TIs. Grab your TIs. L1, L2. If you need it, take a little booklet out. That was my gift to you, because this walks you through all that. Joe? I do. Thank you for asking that. Joe asked a very good question. I'm going to scoot this over here, fire up my machine. Very, very good question, because it's easy to delete them, isn't it, Joe? It's very easy to do, friend. TI has made it, it's a bug they never bothered fixing. Fortunately, it's very simple to get it back. So if you're using your TI, Alright, if you're using your machine, okay, stat edit. So if you're in here, and you've noticed that your L1 and L2 have gone away, that data still. No wonder. Hang on one second, I gotta think real quick, guys. Oh, looks like it's over there. I think I'm okay. So, suppose you're in L1 and L2 and you want to use these lists, and you go up to the top and you say, I'm going to clear the list out, you press the delete button, and then L1 goes away. This happens all the time. It'll happen to you all this term. If that ever happens, press the stat button. Hit 5% up editor. And then press enter. It's back. It's back. So when you go to stat edit, L1's back. And now what's the easiest way to get the data out of L1? Up top?
Clear.
Clear, not the delete button. That wipes the data. FYI, if that ever happens again, which it's going to happen a lot because we're used to this, in the booklet somewhere in there, I have instructions for how to use that setup editor. And I think I mentioned there somewhere if your L1 is missing that value. Just run. Cool? All right, friends. Let's practice. Turn the machine off too. Work together if you have to. If anybody doesn't have a